Ozzy, we're approaching the last season at Goodison Park. Tell us about what this place means to you and some of your fondest memories here.
I mean, it's hard to explain. It's hard to put that kind of question into words, where you stood on the pitch, you're looking around, you see in the stadium. I mean, can you imagine it full? Can you imagine what this was like, rocking on a good night or a good afternoon when you've got a good performance, the results going your way? I mean, it's one of the best places to play football. And add something like you were the person who scored the winning goal into that mix. It's hard to explain how that feels. Everybody who's in the crowd watching feels what they feel when we score a goal, we score a winning goal. Doing it, scoring the goal, it's just absolutely ridiculous. I mean, there's the siren. I don't know if you can hear the siren. Puts goosebumps down the arm. That, you know what's following that. It's a great place to be. I've enjoyed every moment of it. I'll be gutted when it's not here anymore. I really will. The history that you knew what was going to be when you walked out on the pitch, you were hoping to make your own history. And then on top of that, doing it on a few occasions. So, brilliant place. Will be missed.
You mentioned the added feeling of scoring a winner on in a rocking night at Goodison. Try and put that into words. How does that feel?
It's hard to put into words. I mean, I get goosebumps when Z-Cars comes on. You know, you score a winning goal on a Saturday, you watch the team score a goal. I mean, if you wrap all three of those different feelings up and you put them inside you and times it by 10, then that's what it's like scoring a winning goal. I was fortunate enough to do it on a few occasions, a couple of times late on in games when you know there's no coming back for the opposition. And yeah, it's especially when it means something, you know, scoring a goal that you know is significant here. I mean, it's a stadium that just erupts, you know, the big games, the big nights. It was incredible to be involved in. Gutted when I had to retire. Even more gutted now that we're going to have to say goodbye to this amazing place.
Well, let's have a look at a few of your favourite goals. Let's start with, well, your personal favourite. Talk to us about what it was, when it was, and why it was.
Well, my personal favourite is a tap in from about 5 or 6, maybe even 7 yards out, and it was my 400th game. We were at home to West Ham. I was the captain. And it was a significant game because I think we'd had a bit of a troubled run at the time. West Ham came here and we went 1-0 up, 1-1, and we needed a goal. And we got a counter-attack, a break, and then goal Evertonians, remember, I wasn't the quickest. And in the later stages of my career, counter-attacks were not for me. But Romelu had the ball, he's come down the middle, someone's tried to hack him down to stop the attack, and I just thought, I'm just going to get up and try and support. And I looked around, and probably where you are now, it was Kevin Nolan that was marking me, and I thought, you're probably the one player on the pitch I can beat in a race. So I just got my head down and I just literally set off, and this was it. The ball went out to the right, and Samuel Eto'o appeared, and he was just running out. I think he was looking up to see, like, is there anybody there? And I don't think I waved. I think I just got my head down, and I was just like, if he can find me. And it was, I mean, he's the type of player that I sort of say, wow, Samuel Eto'o played for Everton. You know, absolute world legend, African icon came, and not only did I play with him, not only did he play here at Everton, but he set up my favourite goal. And it was literally just, he's whipped it across. I got into the back post, probably around about, I'll show you, probably around about here as he whipped it in. And I just went sliding in because I just wanted to make sure that it didn't go past me more than anything. It wasn't about concentrating. It was just getting on the touch on the ball and seeing it go in. I mean, I think it just went inside the far post, which was quite fortunate for me. But at this place, the whole place, I mean, you're right in front of the crowd here when you score. Everybody's on top of you. Everything just goes up, and then it's encased by this roof here, and the feeling, the noise. I mean, it's just incredible. It was brilliant moment. Ran to the corner, celebrated with the section in the corner, and yeah, it was definitely my favourite moment for what it meant for me, the importance of the game for us, my 400th game for the club. It was just a whole load of emotion all in one goal.
Another goal that I think is quite a lot of Evertonians' favourite ever Everton goal of a certain generation. European night, Larissa, unbelievable team goal, unbelievable finish. Talk us through that one.
Yeah, well, that was a brilliant goal, wasn't it? I mean, we won the ball in our own half. We went backwards. A good bit of play. Tim Cahill out to Leighton Baines. Good overlapping run. I'm in midfield, just trying to be in a position. As much you're thinking about supporting the play, you're also thinking if we lose the ball, you need to be in a good position to win it back. You're trying to judge yourself off people being out of position. But Tim had run out to the left. Stephen Pienaar made that run out to the left, and I just realised I was the only person in the middle. And I just thought, I'm just going to try and get into a position. I thought Stephen was going to take a touch, or I thought he was going to do something special. I mean, because I thought in my mind, I need to be closer to the goal before I get the ball. So hopefully he does a trick. I'll be in the box and I'll be at the end of it. And he backheeled it to me from distance, and I thought, oh no. I don't know what am I going to do here. I just ran onto it. My stride pattern was all wrong as well. So I started to like reach out with my strides to get there. But in doing so, it obviously set me up to arrive at the ball perfectly. And I'm on the angle here now. As I've arrived to it with my right foot, I could only slice it. If I hit it straight, it goes to the E of the EFC in the crowd. So it was just trying to cut across it. And one of the few moments I hit a ball as well as I did in my Everton career, it was that one, to be honest. And it was a goal that everybody now talks to me if they were there. Even if they weren't there, I remember that goal. I remember that wrist goal. What a brilliant goal that was. What a brilliant team move. And I think that was the good thing about us at that moment. We were a really good team. We were progressing really well. And we were ready to win nights like that in European games. We had a good couple of runs in Europe. And yeah, that was probably the highlight of goals in European football for me. The highlight was the very nearly moment we had against Fiorentina. This place was absolutely bouncing then. I mean, what a night of European football that was. It was just sad that we'd given ourselves so much to do in the first leg and we couldn't get over the line in the penalties after the draw in the second leg. But I think we'd have won the competition that year had we gone past that obstacle, because they were very strong. But it just wasn't to be.
Another couple of goals at this end I wanted to quickly run you through as well. A very different goal this time. Sunderland in a 7-1 win.
Yeah.
Picked up the ball on the halfway line.
Yeah.
Talk us through that one.
Well, I'd always been a dribbler as a kid and a youth player, and then coming forward. But again, it was a dribbling with me head up and looking for passes rather than ever outpacing anybody. And if you're playing in a game, you're so dominant. I think Tim had scored 2. I think the Yak had scored 2. I think Stephen had scored a goal, and you start to think, come on, just give me a chance. Please, just let me have a chance. I think AJ had come on and he'd scored as well. And yeah, I just picked the ball up just in our own half and got turned. Let the ball run across me, I think, and then I turned and it was like this. It was literally like this. Everything just opened up, and I thought, I'll keep going. I'll have a go. And as I'm getting closer and closer, I was thinking, no one's coming to me. Why isn't anyone coming to me? I usually have to pass it by now. But obviously Sunderland were a bit mentally exhausted. They were, at 6-1, it had been a tough afternoon.
How important is confidence in moments like that as well? Because as you say, the team's in a good moment. You're in a good moment as well. How important, is having that confidence in those moments?
Yeah, I think every player is better with confidence, and I think every player is better, in my opinion, if they're prepared to try things, because that's when you start to see the brilliant moments, the lovely pass, the nice run, the shot in the top corner. If you're not prepared to try it, if you're scared of giving the ball away, you're never going to be able to show what you're capable of. And in that moment, yeah, I got to here, and by this stage, by the time I got to here, I thought, I'm close enough to try and do something myself now. And AJ made a nice little run, and it just opened up a nice gap, and I just continued to go through it. A couple of little touches to keep the defenders unsure about what I was doing. And then, got to the last bit. And actually, when I hit it with my left foot, I think I was trying to get a bit more height on it than I did. I think the exhaustion of it being late in the game and running from the halfway line, I didn't hit it as high as I wanted to, but thankfully it was just high enough to get over the goalkeeper and in, and I think it rounded off what was one of the best afternoons of football that we've had, a 7-1 win.
How vivid are your memories looking back at moments like this? Can you still sort of see it unfolding in front of your eyes, or is it more difficult to
Some
recall
memories, the big goals, some memories I know because I'll have seen them back.
Yeah.
But a lot of memories I've got because I can picture myself where I was on the pitch. I can picture how I was. I can tell you, not, you know, the square of grass I probably was on because I've got a feel for where I was at the time. That when that picture pops into your mind, you know exactly where the hoarding was there, and you know exactly where the post was there. You just got to kind of get a feeling for things, and yeah, that's why you sort of know sections of crowds as well. Ones that have got you. But I used to love going behind to do a corner. I might be on the front post. I might be picking up, and you can hear every single Evertonian telling you who's free, who needs marking, what job you're supposed to do, where you're supposed to be doing, telling me that I need to tell the rest of the team to mark up and pick up and all that. And I'm like, you know, trying to go, cheers, guys, I've got it, I'm sorted. Yeah, so yeah, when you get close to the fans, you have a feel for what the different sections are feeling and offer. Yeah, it's a great memory that just popped back in my mind there.
Last one I wanted to run you through as well is that the Portsmouth goal. Obviously,
Yeah.
a really, really important goal in the context of the season. Obviously, a really good season for us as well. What do you remember about that one?
Yeah, one of my favourite goals. We'd one of the reasons is we'd gone 1-0 up, and the Yak who was playing for Portsmouth at the time scored an equaliser, and it was from a bad flick on from me. It was over on the far side. They had a long throw. I tried to get it flicked it on. Conceded the equaliser. And it was a game that I think we just lost to Charlton at home, maybe just over the Christmas period. And we were just worried that the momentum was going to go at the turn of the year. And that was a 97th minute winner, I think, something like that. That long ball from the back was Stubbsy. And yeah, I was playing on the right of midfield at the time, but again, I always wanted to drift in. And I found myself following a long ball across. I think Kev Kilban won the header, and there was a ricochet in here somewhere, and I was just desperate to be wherever the ricochet was. And I think I benefited from the fact that I've always been quite confident on either foot when it hit, and as it came down, it was basically just connect with it, just as it's coming, just get your head over it, just connect with it. Honestly, I don't think I've struck many purer on the volley or on the half volley than I did that goal. I think it would have still been rising, and I wasn't strong enough generally to hit a long ball, a strong ball, but I caught that one. And yeah, first proper season, the year we finished in the Champions League positions, that was the second time I'd scored a last minute winner, but under the lights. I mean, because this is a great place to score any winning goals, but there's just something about it at night under the lights that just makes it unique and special and brilliant. And yeah, that was my first real experience of that in a full stadium. And I think Moisey was on the pitch, there was fans on the pitch, we were celebrating in different bits, and it just reinvigorated the push into the second half of the season for us. And yeah, I like goals that give the team something, and that one did.
Perfect. Let's have a look at a couple down the other end then. A couple against Manchester City, actually. One, a header, which I'm not sure you remember too much about because you might have been knocked out on that one. And a goal of the season. I think it might have been one goal of the season outright, did it? On the one from a little bit further out on your left foot?
I don't remember, actually. I remember the goal. I remember, as you said, I remember the left footer one more clear than the header.
Tell us about the header first then. What you can remember or what you can try and piece together when you watch it back.
Well, we always had a good run against Manchester City, didn't we? At that stage, we played some pretty good football. We were always competitive against Man City. They didn't really fancy playing us through that period. And yeah, I mean, it was an opportunity to run forward again. I mean, most goals you'll ever score are, you know, taking the chance to run forward. And if my memory serves, Phil Neville had the ball, and I must have been either central or on the left. And Victor Anichibi didn't seem to want to get into the box. He was making a short run, but never a bit of time on the ball. And I thought, well, either way, if he can play it into Victor or he can play it forward, one or the other, he's going to need somebody ahead of him. So I thought, you know, there's the space. I'll just run into it. Had I known I was running into Vincent Kompany's space, I may have reassessed where I was going, considering. But yeah, I was right here when I thought of the moment. I just thought, right, I'm just going to, Victor comes short there. I'm just going to burst into this position. And Nev give what actually must be considered a very good ball in, because we scored from it. But it was a hospital pass. Let's not get ourselves wrong. He's hung it up for Vincent Kompany to come on and clear away. But obviously, Vincent Kompany didn't see me coming. I jumped, and I've just sort of, and because of the angle I had to set it off at, I had to use all my head on the momentum. There are headers that you can head, and there are headers that you can flick. But this one I had to throw my head at to continue its motion into the far corner, which wasn't great with regards to connecting heads with
Did you know at that point you were going to take a whack?
No, at this point I just jumped, and I've headed it. As I've headed it, there was a split second between me heading it and Vincent Kompany connecting with my head. And in that moment, I knew I'd scored. I knew that Joe wasn't getting there. Joe Hart, I knew Joe wasn't getting there. And I knew I'd scored. And then the next thing I was on the floor. But I scored a goal. Yeah, worth it. Winning goal. I've always said that. I think a lot of players would tell you that. They take hits, they take cuts, you take stitches to score a goal any time you can. And yeah, that was one. I was able to get up and get on with the game, walk away from it, and we won the game. So yeah, and another good moment, yeah.
And very last one, a little bit further out.
Yeah.
Same opposition. A left-footed curler over Joe Hart again.
Yeah. Well, strangely, I mean, yeah, they were the team going for titles at the time, weren't they? But we'd just had a really poor result. I think it was, we just got knocked out the cup in the week. A really poor one. We had a lot of injuries that day, missing a lot of players. I was the captain, and it was a result that we needed. Again, strange that when you need a result, we didn't mind playing Man City at the time, because it was a chance to get a result. But yeah, I remember being central midfield, and I remember we attacked down the right-hand side. I think centre half went up. I think Seamus obviously was the player who ended up playing me the ball. Felly was advanced. And I looked around and realised I was one of the two deepest players. I think it was certainly three, but I was one of the deepest players. And I thought, uh-oh, let's not get done on the counter-attack here. Let's not. I was thinking, we can't lose the ball here because I'll get exposed on the counter-attack because they're quicker than me. And as Seamus came inside, he just overran it a touch and needed to toe poke it into this area. And I literally thought, there was nothing on there. I could tell that. We'd just come from there. I don't want to lose the ball in this position because we'll get counter-attacked on. I'm just going to have a shot. And it was that. It was, oh, it's not on my right foot. It's on my left foot. So I just sliced across it. And my idea was to do a bit like Larissa, to sort of slice across it, hit it, keep it, bend it back within. But I obviously sliced it a bit too much. And it completely fooled Joe. I went into the top corner, but people always say to me, did you miss it? Did you slice it? And I say, well, I was having a shot and I hit the target. I said, so by that estimation, it went exactly where I wanted it to. But
the final miss hit.
Yeah, I was aiming for the other half of the goal, but they all count.